Let me start with something that's probably going to feel very familiar. You've watched the videos, you've read the posts, you know what you're supposed to do with money. Spend less than you earn, save more, invest consistently, avoid debt, and yet your finances don't feel any easier. You still feel behind, still anxious, still one unexpected expense away from stress. And the most confusing part is this: you're doing the advice, but it's not working. If that feels like you, this video is for you. My name is Jerry, and I spend way too much time thinking about why financial advice fails most people. If you're someone who tries to follow good money advice but still feels stuck, overwhelmed, or quietly frustrated with your financial progress, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Here's the thing. Most financial advice isn't wrong, it's just incomplete. And in some cases, it's designed for a person most people are not. Challenging the common belief. The most common belief in personal finance is this: if people just followed the rules, they'd be fine. Budget better, be disciplined, make smarter choices. But let's look at reality. According to the Federal Reserve, nearly 60% of Americans say they're uncomfortable with their level of savings. Even among households earning over $100,000, a large percentage report living paycheck to paycheck. That's not a knowledge problem, that's a design problem. Why advice sounds simple, but fails in practice? Most financial advice is built around math, and math is clean, but life isn't. Advice assumes stable income, predictable expenses, perfect consistency, infinite willpower. Real life has variable income, emergencies, stress, fatigue, family pressure, time constraints. And this is where it gets really interesting. Advice usually ignores the conditions people are operating under. The hidden assumption behind most advice. Here's what most people don't realize. Almost all financial advice assumes you already have margin. Margin is extra money, extra time, extra energy. For example, build an emergency fund. Great advice, unless you're already using every dollar just to stay afloat. Max out your retirement accounts. Also great, unless housing, transportation, and insurance already consume most of your income. Advice works best for people who need it the least. The math that exposes the problem. Let's do some simple math. Say you earn $60,000 per year. After taxes, maybe $45,000. Now subtract. Rent, $1,500 per month, $18,000 per year. Transportation, $600 per month, $7,200 per year. Insurance plus utilities, $500 per month, $6,000 per year. We're already at $31,200. That leaves $13,800 for food, emergencies, saving, investing, and living. Now, someone tells you to just save 20%. That's not advice. That's math without context. The psychological side. Everyone ignores. Here's where psychology matters. Financial advice assumes people make decisions calmly and rationally. They don't. People make money decisions when tired, when stressed, when overwhelmed, when comparing themselves to others. Behavioral economists call this cognitive load. When your brain is overloaded, long-term planning collapses. You don't think in decades, you think in days, so advice that ignores psychology will always fail. Why motivation doesn't fix this now? You might be thinking, okay, but what if people were just more disciplined? Look, discipline helps, but discipline doesn't eliminate friction. If your system requires constant willpower, it will eventually break. That's not weakness. That's human. A simple analogy: think of financial advice like fitness advice. Eat healthy and exercise. True, but useless without context. Someone working 2 jobs, sleeping 5 hours a night, and stressed about rent doesn't need motivation. They need a system that works within their constraints. Money is the same way. Why advice feels blaming? Another reason advice fails is tone. Most advice subtly implies, if this isn't working, you're doing it wrong. That creates shame, and shame shuts people down. Instead of adapting advice to reality, people disengage completely. What actually works instead? Here's what most people don't realize. The goal isn't perfect behavior, it's reducing friction, and this is where things finally start to change. 3 practical shifts that actually help. 1. Focus on fixed costs. First, most advice obsesses over small spending, but fixed costs do the real damage. Housing, transportation, insurance. Lowering one fixed cost by $300 per month saves $3,600 per year without ongoing effort. That's more powerful than perfect budgeting. 2. Design for bad months, not good ones. Advice assumes consistency. Instead, plan for inconsistency. Ask, what does my money look like in a bad month? If your system only works when everything goes right, it's fragile. 3. Build slack before optimization. Don't optimize before you stabilize, before investing harder, before chasing returns. Build slack. Slack buys time. Time reduces stress. Stress reduction improves decisions. This is the real compounding effect. The deeper insight. This is the part most advice misses entirely. Financial progress isn't about intelligence. It's about environment. People don't fail advice. Advice fails people when it ignores environment. Look, you're not broken. If financial advice hasn't worked for you, it doesn't mean you're irresponsible or lazy. It means the advice wasn't designed for how real life actually works. The moment you stop blaming yourself and start redesigning your system, progress becomes possible again. If this video helped you see money differently, hit the like button. It really helps the channel. Subscribe if you want calm, honest explanations about money that respect reality instead of ignoring it. And ask yourself tonight, is my financial system designed for real life or an ideal version of it? Because once your system fits your life, advice finally starts to work.